Hi guys, this is Simeon from Swedish Homestead. I've had a very busy day today, but I still want to get a video out there to you guys, and I want to talk to you about the homestead and the different aspects of a homestead. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, a homestead is a farmhouse and the land that goes with it. And I want to talk with you about the three major things that make a homestead for me, and talk a little bit about them. Okay, so the first thing I would like to talk to you about is just the property of a homestead. For me, it's very important that there are three elements on there, and one is that there's some kind of water. The other is that there's forest on there, and the third one is that there is gardening land or farmland, pastures, fields on there. Those are all really important, and I would like to talk about these three. So the forest is really important for different reasons. I have a paper here, so sometimes you will see me look at the paper here. You get lumber from the homestead, so even if you don't have a sawmill yourself, people can come and mill the wood for you, or you can have a chainsaw mill or something like that. But it's really important, if you want to build a lot, it's worth the money to invest into a cheaper sawmill and mill the lumber yourself. Our Wood-Miser bandsaw mill has paid for itself many times. Plus, we are able to sell lumber, we are able to mill for other customers. So forest is really important because of the lumber. It's also really important for firewood. That's the source of heat that we use here on the farm mainly, and it's a renewable heat source, and it's just amazing. When you go out in the forest and you actually take care of it, you thin it out so that the trees can grow quicker. You take up the thinner ones, you use those for firewood, then the forest sequesters more carbon. It's actually really good, despite what all the people say. It's a renewable source of heating, and you get a good concept of the value of energy when you go out there yourself. But it's really important. Then three other things that we use our forest for here is one is wild berries, lots of wild raspberries, wild blueberries. The third one is wild mushrooms. We go every late summer, early fall, we go and pick mushrooms. And also game. We go moose hunting with the neighbors, and we go deer hunting as well. So those are all things that are really important to us, and that's why we don't want to have land without forest on it. Forest is very important. It also provides wood chips for our garden, wood chip for our deep bedding. We just take care of leaves, branches, logs, everything. Plus, the forest is just so important for the biodiversity on your homestead with the fields and everything. Actually, if you look at polyface farms in the US, Joel Salatin, they planted forests so that their fields would be maximum 200 yards wide, so that birds would cross, and it would just be a more natural environment. So forest is really important. And the next is the farmland. And that is really important to me because I want to be able to garden, and I want to also grow my own food. We have we have 24-hectare farm, 18-hectare forest, and 6 is pasture and field. But we also farm neighbors' farms here as well. But it's really important to me to have that, and the reason for that is I want to grow my own food. I want to have a garden, and I want to raise animals. And let me just walk you through real quick the animals we've had here on the homestead. And there's a reason for all of them. So since we have pastures and fields, it was really important that we had herbivores. Like, we have had sheep for a long time. I want to have sheep again. Sheep is actually my big passion and what I focused on when I went to school, and what I love working with the most is sheep. And now we have cows. And it's really important because herbivores are nature's soil builders, and they graze, and the only input they need is grass or hay, and they're just really important. They will keep your homestead open. so that no brush will grow up and the fields will turn, excuse me, and the fields will turn into forest. They will keep them open, so that's really really important. Then you have chickens. I would think that every homestead should have chickens, just because they take care of all your kitchen scraps. So if you have a few, you will feed them for free. They produce eggs for you, which will store without refrigeration, without freezing, and at the end of the life you can eat the bird. So chickens are amazing. They need low cost infrastructure, just very easy to start with. Then turkeys would maybe be the next step that you also could work with. We've had those. Geese are amazing because you can feed them on just grass on the summertime. They don't need anything else. If they have a good pasture, you only need grass for them, and they are amazing guard animals. So we keep our geese actually as guard geese for our chickens, for aerial predators. Works really great. I've seen hawks above the chickens this year, but we never lost a chicken. The hawks never came down because of the geese. We also bought a few ducks here late summer, early fall. And the ducks, this is going to be an experiment now in the spring. We have had a lot of slugs last year, and I want to see how many slugs the geese can eat. The ducks can eat. Some say a lot, some say less, because of the slime, you know, it just plugs up their throat after a while, so they can't just eat a few slugs every time. But that's going to be an experiment, why we keep the ducks. Pigs, basically like chickens, just a bigger version. They need a lot different infrastructures, a lot more food. You won't be able to feed them just off your kitchen scraps because they need a lot more food. But you can use them in places, in forest areas, and prepare ground for you in the garden and all of that. That we use them to turn deep beddings for us. We use them to prepare garden areas, and we want to work with them with the chickens. So they dig and get the roots and stuff, and then the chickens come and get what the pigs can't get, and just work together like that. Cats are really important for us as well. We have a couple cats on the farm because they really do a great job at catching all the mice and rats that we otherwise would have in the garden or in the chicken stable. And I actually want to get some bigger cats. There's the Maine Coon breed. They are huge cats, and they are amazing hunters. So that would be a future thing. And then dogs, we've just never had dogs here on the homestead, but they are really important for predators. And I think eventually we will have dogs. And it's a whole nother thing. I worked with a shepherd once, and he had shepherd dogs, and I mean that's like a full-time job to just take care of a good shepherd dog like that. But dogs, you know, if you can run along with you on the homestead, the foxes and wolves and all of that, they will smell that and keep their distance a bunch. So that's really important. The third element that's really important, we talked about forest and the farmland. The third element is water to me. We have the privilege here of living on a peninsula and have water on the east and west side of our property. And it is really important to me to have that water. We here are never bothered by a flood because we're so high up. We are about 20 meters above sea level, or the lake level. But we're not bothered by drought either because we have the lake. We can go fishing, which gives us additional food, and just the recreation aspect of it. We can go canoeing, boat riding, swimming, all of that in the summertime, which is amazing. It's a beautiful lake. You can drink out of it, and that's really important to me. The only thing, since we live on this peninsula, that we don't have is like a creek or like a hill or mountain where a creek comes down. So something, for example, that I'm working on still is a ram pump, and we don't have enough elevation to keep a ram pump going, or not enough water flow even anywhere here on this little hill on the peninsula, or a little slope we have here. So you can't pump the water with a ram pump from the lake up to the farm, for example, because you don't have enough pressure. But that's something we're working on still. But water is just really important. So these are the things that are really important for me for a homestead. I have plans to talk a little more in detail about what the animals do and why we have them and how we put the animals to work for us, and how you can keep them with minimum financial burden, because that's really, really important, because you can very easily do everything they say in the books, which is not always the best, and spend a lot of money on all your animals and your whole homestead. So I hope you enjoyed this little update where I shared a little bit about this, and I will see you in the next video. If you have questions, leave them below, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.